only words I was saying when I was putting this on was, this is freaking scary, man. Please don't fall, please don't fall. Don't be like my Green Lantern statue, please, please, please. Welcome everyone from What's on the Table. This is Prof G and you're watching another episode of Graded, the show where we're not just going to unbox or review a particular statue, collectible, or figure. We are actually going to give it a grade at the end of each video. So for this episode, we are going to grade the 1/4 scale Sideshow Premium Format statue, Superman. Just released this year, we got a lot of Superman releases from different companies, and this is one of those releases I was kinda excited about and at the same time very nervous about because of past experiences with this kind of engineering. Remember the Green Lantern from Sideshow? Yes, that one. I am gonna explain that more in just a bit. But for this release, I always appreciate the fact that they don't put extra head sculpts now as part of exclusive editions and just, include it into one release. Now, Superman is definitely the talk of the town when it comes to statue releases this year, and if I remember correctly, we got a total of at least 3 releases of Superman already. You got the Twitter head 1/3 scale bust. Didn't get this one, but it has a fascinating story on its own. We also got the legendary V Studios Superman 1/3 scale. This one I got and already graded just a few weeks ago, and now we have this one by Sideshow. Priced at around 45,000 pesos landed here in the Philippines, and the original SRP is around $725 US. I got this from Heroes Toy Store BGC, so big thank you to Renz of Heroes Toy Store for checking everything out before the delivery, and I must say, they're really one of the most trustworthy collectible stores here in the Philippines. As you can see right in front of you, we have the art box of the 1/4 scale Sideshow Premium Format statue Superman. Just a statue design showing the front of it on one side, and interestingly enough, which is kind of new in my eyes, they placed the back view of Superman at the back part of the art box. I mean, I get it. I think one of the selling point of the piece, other than the pose and the head sculpt, is the cape, which we will discuss more in just a bit. As you open the box, you are greeted with 2 levels of styro, and for styro level number 1, you will only see just the cape of the Superman statue, which I thought was kind of funny but not really surprising as the cape in itself is very intricate in design, plus it was kind of big and wide, so yeah, it kind of deserved its own styro level. Moving on to styro level number 2, you are gonna see the rest of the parts of the statue. You have these small parts of the smoke or cloud attachment to the base. It has the translucent material and gradually painted to be solid, which I thought was kinda nice, but looking at it from afar, not sure yet if it's gonna make a huge impact on the overall design of the piece. It looks cool though. You have the base of the Superman statue. Not gonna pull that out yet as I don't want to risk breaking anything. You have the 2 head sculpts of Superman. The first one is the kind of like the older, much more mature look of Superman, which I actually prefer. And the other head sculpt is the much younger one, which I know based on what I saw from the statue community, they actually prefer this one. And last but not the least, you have the body of Superman. Very nice paint job. Yes, I checked the paint job too because, being in the tropics, I want to make sure it survived the shipping. And good thing, everything looks great. No spills, no scratches, everything is in good condition. Not a lot of parts, but then again, it's Superman. You don't need much to give the character justice. It's time to assemble this 1/4 scale Sideshow Premium Format statue, Superman. My collector friends, this is the 1/4 scale Sideshow Premium Format statue, Superman. Now I'm going to come clean and say that this is currently my only 1/4 scale Sideshow Premium Format statue Superman, and that is because I think out of all the one that was released previously, I prefer this the most, and I would say in my opinion, this is one of the best way to represent Superman in statue form. I gotta say the word currently because I sold the older Superman premium format statues. Now that is not to say that the previous releases were not good, I just prefer this one out of the bunch. Now just to give you a little recap, we had the classic, one of the first Superman premium format statues made by Sideshow, and if I'm not mistaken, this was done about a decade ago. Then we had another premium format statue Superman released around 6 years ago, where the exclusive one is holding the decapitated head of Brainiac. At that time, I really liked this one, but I felt like it's a modern take of Superman and the body being a bit lean bothered me a little bit. Still a good looking piece, but you know, it could be a hit or miss. Then this one, we have the call to action Superman from Sideshow, which I was really tempted to get but didn't pull the trigger, as I felt like if I'm gonna have a Superman pose with my other Justice League characters, the presence and the pose of this design might be overshadowed a bit. Still a great design, but I didn't pull the trigger. Then we had the 1978 Christopher Reeves version, which I thought was a very good Superman piece. Still didn't pull the trigger on this one, kinda regretted it in the end, but that's okay. And then we have this one right here, which was released about a couple of months ago, which is the Sideshow premium format statue Superman in flying action. We got a lot of Superman statue out there, and honestly, it's kinda hard to pick the best one as it appeals to different tastes for collectors. But I chose to get and keep this one. Now before we go deeper in talking about the statue, let's do a quick size measurement. The length is about 19 inches with consideration to the cape. Width is around 16 inches and the height is, surprise, is around 34 inches. Now remember, I got the legendary V Studio Superman and the height of that, and this one is not really that far off. But this is one of those things where some quarter scale collectors are complaining about, wherein the height is starting to become a problem for their display shelves, and that includes me. Nevertheless, that's a problem I am going to have later on. Let's move on with the actual statue. First, the base. Now this is kind of a unique base, and the way they presented it is Superman launches from a base of swirling clouds, and that in itself I think is a good way to represent the character. You have those two pieces attached to the base, and I can say it's okay. And if you're gonna ask me if the effect of those pieces gradually being translucent to solid made a huge impact, well, not really. It's not bad. It looks great. But is it necessary? Probably not. And as you've seen a while ago, you have Superman with only 1 foot peg on the base, and this made me a little nervous, to be honest. If you remember my past experience with an engineering similar to this one, yes, I'm talking about the Sideshow premium format statue Green Lantern, when not even 24 hours, that peg and slot broke already and had that leaning issue. Well, I was afraid I would have the same problem here. And the body of Superman plus the cape does have some weight to it, so the only words I was saying when I was putting this on was, this is friggin' scary, man. Please don't fall, please don't fall. Don't be like my Green Lantern statue, please, please, please. But looks like, for now, it's gonna hold up. Ambitious design, but I think they pulled it off. Second, the body. Now let's talk about the sculpt of the body first, as I think this is the best way to represent Superman. I mentioned a while ago that the previous releases of Superman looked lean and young, but this one I think is somewhere in the middle. I mean, it's bulky, but not too bulky. Muscular, but not overly exaggerated, and I think it's just the right balance. You got a muscular and proportioned body type of Superman from both the upper body and the lower body, as you can definitely say that this Clark Kent does not skip leg day. You also have the nice Superman logo on his chest, decently painted, some overlapping paint lines but not really too noticeable, and perfectly placed. Now I am a fan of that big and wide Superman logo on his chest. Plus, I already decided that I am gonna put on the older version look of the head sculpt, and I think that one with this body type really does mesh well. The paint job, like I said a while ago, is very nice. No spills, not a lot of overlaps, no issues on my end really. The vibrant blues, reds, and yellows, and accompanying that with the shadings of the muscle contours is fantastic. I mean, it's still a nod to the classic color scheme, and if you're used to the look of Superman in the comics, I think you will appreciate this one. Now let's talk about the sculpt. Similar to my concern with the premium format Green Lantern where the pose is vertical and they are both looking up, I was really worried that we might not be able to appreciate the overall look in its entirety, especially the head sculpt. But if you are looking at it from the front, I would say that you can still see the details of the head sculpt compared to how they did the Green Lantern where you're just gonna see his jaw and not really see the portrait unless you are gonna look at it from above. I think this angle and this design is still balanced. Yes, he is looking up, but I don't really need to look at the statue from the top to appreciate the portrait. Last but not the least, let's talk about the cape. Now at first, I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was too much cape. It was kinda exaggerated for my taste, but seeing it in front of me, I think it's okay. Kinda heavy though for a quarter scale, and that's giving me a bit of anxiety if the body plus the weight of the cape is gonna hold on the single peg on the base. But still, let's assume that it does. I think it's a good looking cape. Now I wish they included the S logo from behind, but that's just my preference. But overall, I am fine with it. Now does the flow of the cape look realistic? Probably not, but does it look good? I would say, yeah, it does. Third, the head sculpt. Now for this one, Sideshow right away included 2 head sculpts on the package. No exclusive add-ons this time, so you have the younger look and you have the much mature older portrait of Superman. And as I've mentioned a while ago, I prefer the older, more mature portrait look than the other one. The younger look is not bad, but I feel like there is something wrong with it. Can't put my finger on it, but I just don't feel like it's the right sculpt for this build. So as long as this statue stands, I would say this older, mature Superman portrait is the one that will stay. I like the way that they put a little hint of white hair streaks at the side. He has a bit of a wide jaw that complements his muscular body. And again, with the portrait looking up, this one didn't bother me as much as the Green Lantern did. So yeah, that's about it. 1 out of 2. Good looking head sculpt. Now months ago, I did a graded episode of the Sideshow premium format Wonder Woman Saving the Day, and I kinda teased that this trio of Wonder Woman plus Superman and the Dark Knight Returns could possibly be a good Trinity combination for your quarter scale. But we are gonna find that out as I will also be grading the Dark Knight Returns Batman by Sideshow. Still not sold on that Wonder Woman being a good fit for the Trinity, but we shall see. But overall, this Sideshow premium format statue Superman is a well-balanced design. It is vertical in orientation, but we can appreciate the character in its entirety. The build is not too lean and not too muscular. I would say it's just right. The paint job is spot on. Not much of a complaint really. The head sculpts, yeah, I prefer just 1 out of the 2, so I guess that's okay. But all in all, I think, in my opinion, this is one of the best Sideshow premium format statue releases to date for Superman. Having said that, for this Sideshow premium format statue Superman, with the design, vertical orientation but not wasting important details of the sculpt, the paint job, those shadings and contours, the sculpt, the body type muscle definition, the inclusions, very basic but only one usable head sculpt for me, and the price that I got it for, which is fair in my opinion, I am going to give it a grade of 8.5. Very well made piece by Sideshow, and a lot of collectors also think that this is one of the best representations of the character in statue form. Just wondering how it would look like if I place it beside recent quarter scale Batmans and Wonder Woman. Thanks again guys for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do me a solid by clicking on the like button and subscribe, or even just give me a shout at the comments section below. If you have a different grade you would want to give this Sideshow premium format statue Superman, please let me know also in the comments section below. Thanks again guys, this is Prof G and you just watched another episode of Graded. See you all on the next one.